Hello and welcome. I'm Aaron Wills, and this is a random rambling video which I began recording on Wednesday, July 16th, 2025 at 1:45 p.m. Along with welcoming you to my channel, allow me to thank you for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe before sharing this video and turning on the post notification bell. It's been getting good in the LCU. For those of you who have not been watching my videos maybe lately, you might be brand new to my channel and never heard me talk about the LCU, Local Universe. The Local Universe, which includes a number of shows like the Local Live, which is the main show, which features Killer Keemstar, Boogie 2988, and now a gentleman named CD-ROM, a 34-year-old virgin whom the members of the Local Live have decided their goal is to turn him into a quote-unquote man and get him laid at some point soon. And they held an eat date where girls would come in and he would try to talk to them, but he just isn't very good at talking to ladies, so it didn't work. And but even worse, there was a girl whom Beans had oh shit, I lost my it doesn't matter. I lost my earbud, but that doesn't matter. Anyways, CD-ROM had a crush on another host in the LCU, Local Universe. Her name, she goes by Beans. I don't know if that, I can't imagine that's her real name, but she goes by Beans. And CD-ROM had a huge crush on Beans, and Beans, I think it was a bunch of bullshit, but Beans was acting like she was crushing on him, and they were at Keemstar's house in Buffalo on Keemstar's property for a 4th of July party / camping trip. And during that, and Beans brought another gentleman to that 4th of July party / camping trip. As a result, CD-ROM did not feel comfortable approaching Beans to take her out on the date that he promised her, or to give her the gift that he promised everyone else that he was going to give her. He didn't feel comfortable. Now, they did kiss, but only because there were so many donations for them to kiss. They did kiss on the camping trip / 4th of July party. Beans and CD-ROM, I mean. That's only because there was donations to kiss. It was a very awkward kiss, basically a peck. Really, it was a very awkward peck. That was the kiss. And Beans on LCU Live, on Local Live last night, told CD-ROM that she was waiting for him to pull her away from this guy she brought with her to romance her. And he's like, well, how am I supposed to know that? You brought another guy to the party. How the hell am I supposed to know you want me to talk to you? Which makes sense to me. Everybody else is saying, well, be a man. It doesn't matter if she's with somebody. It does matter if she's with somebody else. I don't know where they're coming from. If I knew a girl was with somebody else, I wouldn't talk to her, especially right in front of the dude. The dude was right there, and she wanted him to come take her away from the dude to romance her and to take her on a date or to do whatever with her. That's what she was saying. I don't believe for a second she wanted that. That's what she was saying. But CD-ROM did actually have a crush, or has feelings even, for this girl Beans, they call her. Again, I don't know if that's her real name or not. I can't imagine it's her real name, but they call her Beans. CD-ROM had developed true feelings for this girl Beans. And so last night, there's another girl in the LCU named Sweet Tea. Again, that's not her real name. They call her Sweet Tea. She came in because she had been talking to CD-ROM, and maybe she had a true crush on CD-ROM. Whereas Beans, I think, was faking it the whole time. I think, girls, they'll fake it all the time. I don't mean fake crushes either. So Sweet Tea came in last night on live, and I think she truthfully does have a crush on CD-ROM, or likes CD-ROM anyway, and would like for CD-ROM to take her out on a date. But last night, um, they offered to fly one of the girls into wherever CD-ROM lives. I think he lives. They said he lives in Buffalo, which I guess is upstate New York. I'm sure it is. Um, and CD-ROM had to choose which girl he wanted to take on the date, and because you can't. I mean, you just can't do that to make a guy answer that question because he's going to lose one of them. Turns out he lost both of them as a result. The one was offended. Sweet Tea was offended because he told her that she was prettier than Beans, and that he was mentally stimulated by her more so than Beans, that she can hold a better conversation than Beans, and that he liked her better. And he chose that he'd rather go on a date with Beans. And so Sweet Tea was offended or hurt, I guess, and she said, well, I want nothing to do with you then. Which, of course, hurt. And then, I don't know why Beans decided she was done with him. I don't know. He chose Beans over Sweet Tea. But she was still mad at him. And then decided, and what happened was, the guy she brought to the 4th of July party / camping trip didn't like the fact that, she was being rizzed by this CD-ROM. So he told her, hey, let's make this official so that I don't have to worry about you going, leaving me for CD-ROM. And so apparently they made an official relationship. And so that was the end of that. I'm making a video. Don't come over here, Kenny. I'm making a video. So he lost Beans and Sweet Tea last night. And everybody was blaming Beans for breaking CD-ROM's heart and hurting his feelings. And so she took a lot of bullshit for what happened. And as a result, she quit. She left the LCU. She quit. Her show Dolls was on this morning. She's in a Local Dolls show, one of the co-hosts, and she didn't show up. They left Glammy Lammy and Desi to host the show. They're the other co-hosts of the show. It was Beans, Glammy, and Desi. And now it's just Desi and Glammy. That's who hosted the show today, those two. Beans was not there. She quit the LCU because she took a lot of bullshit over people blaming her for CD-ROM's heart being broken. And a lot of people argue, well, it's not her fault that he developed feelings for her. The whole thing was supposed to be for content, supposedly, and he just fell for her. He fell for her and developed feelings for her. And so when she said she wasn't interested in him, it hurt him and broke his heart. And so now, and then he was on Cafe, Local Cafe, early in the morning, the first show to kick off the LCU each day. Local Cafe, he was on that show, and Ken from Local, I guess he's back to Ken. He went from Ken to Bigfoot. Now I guess he's back to Ken. Ken / Bigfoot asked CD-ROM if he was considering sewer slide at all. And he's like, no, I've never considered sewer slide in my life. He says that if his life's not going for him, if it's not going right for him in this life, in life, why would he expect shit to go any better for him in the afterlife? Which makes sense. And I believe if you kill yourself, it's the one sin that cannot be forgiven. So you rot in hell. I think if you kill yourself, I don't believe you go to heaven. And so some people believe in purgatory. I believe in heaven and hell. So when you go to heaven and you go to hell, he'd be going to hell if he killed himself. Anyone who kills themselves, if you have a loved one who killed themselves, he or she is in hell. Sorry, that's what I believe. And so, here we go. So Beans quit the LCU, and CD-ROM is still heartbroken. But he could try to salvage whatever he had with Sweet Tea, because I think she really did like him. She said he was charismatic, and that he was funny, and that she liked talking to him. And oftentimes, that's all you need. All you need is a good friendship. And that kicks off a lot of great relationships. Just enjoying hanging out with somebody is all you need. And so you start hanging out with them, and then that's where the feelings get developed. And so, if she she enjoys hanging out with CD-ROM and talking to him and laughing and feeling like he's charismatic, then he needs to continue rizzing her and get her to continue to hang out with him and talk to him and maybe do some IRL stuff and see where it goes. But he's just gonna fucking dog it off like he dogged off Beans last night. He doesn't know how to close the deal. Like I said in the beginning, he's a 34-year-old virgin. So I don't know why everybody's expecting him to be able to seal the deal. He just can't. He said he's tried in the past. He's tried meeting girls at church, meeting girls, what else he said? Wherever. He said he's tried meeting girls everywhere. And he just can't score a chick. That's why he's a 34-year-old virgin. And it's funny because Keemstar calls him the 40-year-old virgin. And CD-ROM always says, I'm not 40, Keem, I'm 34. And then Keemstar, a few minutes later, will call him the 40-year-old virgin. It's pretty funny. I'm missing on Lowell Cow Reaper, hosted by Xylee. Xylee Getting Real, her name is, in the Lowell Cow universe. And they're playing back live last night when Gigi's her name, as co-host of Queens, Lowell Cow Queens, came on to try to hook up with CD-ROM, and she got real sexual, and he just really got embarrassed and turned red. And she talked about how she was a Catholic girl and she didn't have sex until she was 19 years old, and that meant that she was the best cocksucker in 50 states, and she sucked better than Hoover. I don't know. However she put it, but she was really coming on to him, and I can see his face right now. He was red and embarrassed and just holding his head the whole time. Well, go back and watch. You should watch Lowell Cow Live and all the different Lowell Cow shows. There's a number of them. Let's see if I can name them all. Cafe kicks off the day. They redirect into Dolls, which then redirect into Lowell Cow Nerd, or Nerds. They call it different. And when they write it out, it says Nerd, but then everybody calls it Nerds. Lowell Cow Nerds. There's two of them, so it should be Nerds. But when they write it out, it says Lowell Cow Nerd. So I don't know which is correct. I'll call them Lowell Cow Nerds like everybody else does, for now. Anyway, check out the Lowell Cow universe. Lowell Cow Live is on tonight at 5 p.m. Central Time. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Central Standard Daylight Saving Time. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Daylight Saving Time, 6 p.m. if you're on the East Coast or in the Eastern Time Zone. So I'd suggest you check it out and the various shows on the in the LCU. I'm going to try the next time they hold tryouts or auditions to become a host on one of the shows. I'm going to audition. I have some things going for me. I can, one thing is I feel like I can talk off the top of my head and think on my feet. And also I got good equipment. As you can see, this is a $500 microphone after tax and shipping. I bought a $500 microphone. I got a good audio interface. It's a Focusrite Solo 3rd Gen. That's a decent audio interface. And I got a microphone booster to help me get some more clean gain to this very gain-hungry microphone. This is the SM7B, which is known for being gain-hungry. It's the epitome of gain-hungry, and you always have to have either Triton Fed head or some type of cloud lifter or microphone booster that will help give you clean gain to the microphone, and so that it gives you enough gain to power the mic. And so I've done that, and I have all this equipment. It probably equals that's 600. I have about $1,000 worth of equipment to make these videos, and that might impress Keemstar if I were to audition for a place in the LCU, which I would love. That would be a dream. But not because I'm a fan of the LCU, but because that's like my dream. That's why I do this. I'm a talking head. But I would love to do a show with more than more than just one person. I'd love to talk back and forth with somebody doing a show. That'd be a dream. Anyway, I'm gonna hang it up now. It's been almost 16 minutes. It's been 4, 3, 2, 1. 16 minutes exactly. Two fingers, A-Dub Club. See you when I see ya. Oh, and pizza rolls. See ya. See ya. See ya. Peace. Get out of here.